Hello everybody, welcome to Restorative Flow. My name is Alex and I am a yoga teacher at the Ashram. This is Mike, he's going to be demonstrating postures here with me today. So let's get started with this restorative class. It's only about a half an hour long class, so we'll get right into it. Starting on our backs in a dead body pose. We'll begin with what's called ratio breathing. We'll just do 5 breaths together, and if you don't know ratio breathing, that's okay, you'll learn it today. It's very simple, and I'll guide you all the way through. So the ratio we'll use is a 4-4-6-2. That's a 4-second inhale, a 4-second breath hold at the top, a 6-second exhale, and then a 2-second hold at the bottom. Don't remember any of that, that's totally fine. I'll guide you through the entire way. I will count for you throughout. So let's begin. Wherever you're at, just exhale, empty your lungs, and settle into your mat. And then together, inhale for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 2. Inhale again for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale slowly, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold for 2, inhale again, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold for 2, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, slow, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold for 2. Last time, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale slowly, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold for 2. Let your breath return to normal, whatever ratio it naturally likes to take here. Try to keep your breath in and out through your nose your entire practice. And this practice is a restorative flow, so we will be on the ground, basically stretching together for the next 25 or so minutes. And our first posture is a runner's lunge. So carefully, slowly open your eyes and make your way onto all fours. So your hands stack below your shoulders, knees stack below your hips. And from all fours, we'll take a runner's lunge starting on the right side. So bring your right foot up to the outside of your right hand. The heel and the 2 palms are aligned. And then you may want to slide your left knee back an inch or 2 for comfort. Make sure the top of your foot is flat. And then we'll start with a tall version here. So bring both hands up high onto your right thigh. You can either interlace the fingers or just set the hands on your thigh. Make sure your shoulders are soft. This is a posture right at the beginning. We're kind of getting up off the floor. It can be really easy to instantly re-add that tension to our bodies that we just let go of with those breaths. See if you can release your shoulders, relax your face, and allow your hips to be the focus here so you can just slowly begin to open up into your hips. And throughout this class, we will be holding stretches for a little bit of time, maybe longer than you're ready for. If you're ever feeling too much, it's okay to take yourself out a little bit, start over when you're feeling okay again. But notice when you want to come out, notice when you get that first little tension where you want to wiggle or fidget. See if you can take a deep breath and then just remain in the stretch. Oftentimes, our mind gets tired before our body truly is ready to move on. All right, from here we'll transition back down to the mat. So hands return where they were. And you can hang out right here. This is the low version of this runner's lunge. If this is not enough for you or you're ready to try for a little bit more, you can bring your forearms down onto the floor. Your elbows will stack right where your palms were. Nice, Mike, good. And this one can be pretty intense. So if you're feeling a lot, that's okay. Just take deep breaths and see if with time holding the posture, you can eventually soften. You can open up through the hips. And allow your head to hang heavy. Allow your breath to stay calm. In and out through the nose. And if you're practicing at home, these postures, it might be easy to have a pillow or a block, a stack of books, something that you can use to support your body here. So if you're flexible like Mike, this is a really easy posture, but if you don't quite have the flexibility to come down, it can feel really good to have some support right underneath your left hand, just allowing you to lift up out of the hips a little bit. Whatever you need, see if you can add a little support. All right, we're going to take this posture one step further. So if you worked your way down onto your elbows, your forearms, come back up to your palms. And then carefully, slowly, no rush, walk your hands 2 to 3 steps over to the left. No rush. Eventually you want your hips, your shoulders to be at about 45 degrees. So if they started at 0 when you were straight, and if they were at 90, if you turned all the way to your left, come somewhere in the middle of that. So your shoulders and your hips face in the middle there. You can hang out right there. You can bring your elbows down if you like. And for some bodies, it's going to be easier to pick up the back foot and rotate the hips open by bringing that big toe ball side of the foot down to the floor and kind of pivoting onto your inside of your knee. And there's no need to do that, but that might find you a little deeper into the stretch. Allows you to open up through the inner thigh, through the groin, on the back leg. And again, we'll hold this one for some time. So just find your version of this posture. Hands can be planted. Again, you can find some support, maybe placing some books or a ball, a foam roller underneath your hands to lift you out of the hips if you need to come up a little. Or, like Mike, you can start to work your way onto your forearms to go a little deeper. And as you find that discomfort, as you start to feel this stretch, return to your breath. Your breath should be your guide throughout your life, but especially in your yoga practice. Right? If you start to take these tiny little sips of air, you're not really taking full deep breaths. Is that because you started thinking about something else? You're not really present with your yoga? Or is it because this posture is really, really difficult and maybe you need to ease out of it a little bit? So always use your breath as your guide and keep your awareness there. All right, it's a long hold. Let's work our way back up nice and carefully. If you worked your way down, come back to your hands. Square yourself back up to the front of your space. Work your right leg back really carefully. Again, there's never any rush coming into or getting out of these postures because we're just going to hold them for a little while. You can always catch up. And let's move back to all fours. And then we'll go into the left side and run through that same sequence. So bring the left foot up to the outside of your left hand. Palm and heel are in one nice line. Again, if you'd like, you can slide your right knee back about 1 inch or 2. If that feels right, you can open up the hip flexor a little more there. You want to keep this knee stacked on top of the heel, the front leg. And then we'll work our way down, starting with the tall version. So bring your hands up to your left thigh. Maybe interlaced fingers, hands can stack on top of each other or just rest on the thigh. Allow the shoulders to be soft, the jaw to relax, and just start to settle into the left side of our body. Spent a couple of minutes opening up the right side. The right hip was pulled around a little bit. Now we're going to move into the left. And as you transition to the left, stay in contact with your body. Make sure you're feeling the stretch and listening to your body, any signals that it's sending you. Your left side might be different than your right side. You might be tighter in some places. You might have a different range of motion in some of the joints on your left side. So take it easy and listen to this side. Don't just assume that, okay, wherever I was on the right, I'm going to copy that on the left, because it's really easy to get into that mindset of balance, of symmetry, instead of listening. So try listening, try feeling, and then giving your body whatever it's asking for. All right, let's work our way down to the floor. So moving into the low runner's lunge here. Bring your hands down so palms and heel are in a nice line. And if you're feeling good, again, you can work your way down onto your forearms. Your elbows will plant right where your palms are. Perfect. And then allow the top of your back foot to be soft. Perfect. And settle in. You can use your breath to stay present with the stretch. You can use the sensations in your body, so feeling your left hip being pulled open, maybe the left glute, left rib cage, maybe the front of your right hip too. Just using what you've got, your breath and your body, to stay present, connected with your practice, and then you'll receive a little more benefit. The more intention you place on whatever you're doing, the better the outcomes. So stay here, be present with your practice, and give it all the attention that it deserves. All right, next part of this posture, if you went down to your elbows, carefully press yourself back up to your hands. And then we're going to rotate this posture open, so walking your hands 2 to 3 steps to your right this time. And again, you want to end up at 45 degrees. So 0 is forward, 90 would be all the way turned to the right. Find your shoulders and your hips somewhere in the middle of those 2 spots. Hands can be on the floor, elbows, forearms can be on the floor, or you can place something under your hands to lift up out of the hips a little bit. Find your version of this posture. Again, like I said on the other side, you can bend the knee and sort of rotate the hips open and plant the big toe side of your foot back down on the mat to help open up the back leg at a slightly different angle. If that feels good for you, it's a little more advanced, so no need to do that. You can just rotate open. And this one can be pretty intense. A lot of us have tight hips, tight bodies, and these postures, especially with time, can really start to open up areas that we haven't gotten to before. So be patient with your body, be patient with your practice today, and allow it to open up, right? Releasing some of that tension, relaxing your body is going to allow you to find a little more depth in all of these shapes. All right, if you went down to your elbows, bring yourself back up to your hands first. Square yourself off by walking back to center. Carefully, slowly, find your way back to all fours. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And then we'll work our way to a straddle seated posture next. There's no rush to get there. So take your time. If you need to shake out your hips or reset anything, do so. And then for a straddle pose, turn to face the side of your space so you stay on your mat. Spread your legs nice and wide, as comfortable for you. And then sit up tall, lengthen your spine, and walk your hands forward with your spine lengthened. Once you find kind of that first stopping point in your body, you can allow your chin, your head to drop and round the spine. Just hang out right there. This is your first stopping point. Maybe with duration of a hold, you'll find a little more space. Maybe as you inhale, you can grow your spine a little longer. And then as you exhale, you might find yourself just slowly creeping further and further forward. This is another one where placing maybe a pillow or 2 or 3 pillows right underneath your hands in front of you can be a really nice support. If you're not as flexible as Mike, you'll be able to eventually work your way down. That'll give you something to rest your hands on, allow you to soften a little bit through the upper body so you don't have to be rigid and holding yourself up. And again, the breath. The breath is so important. So find your way back into your breath if you've lost track of your breath. Take the biggest and deepest and fullest breaths that you can take. Really allow your breath to help you in this posture. See if you can open a little further. Almost get a stretch from the inside through your breaths. Each posture, you have almost two versions of the posture happening inside of you. There's the version of the posture happening with the inhale, where your body is lengthening and growing as you're pulling air into your body. Your lungs are huge, so your belly, your rib cage expands. And then there's the exhale, that second part of each posture, where your body just softens, everything kind of shrinks a little smaller, your lungs collapse, your belly pulls in, and all of that air is gone. So you've got a little more space to kind of wiggle at the bottom of the stretch. So feel those two different versions of each posture and all the nuances in between each of those two versions of the posture. Your breath makes such a big difference in your practice. All right, nice and slowly walk your way back up to a seat. Take your time, use your hands for support as much as you need. And then once you're back at center, we're going to rotate this posture over the right leg. So just twist your upper body, squaring your shoulders over your leg, and then slowly walk your hands down over your right leg. You might just take a couple of steps. You may just be sitting straight up. You might be able to go all the way down, elbows down, forehead to knee. Again, find what's going to work for your body today. You don't need to force anything. You're not yanking. You can see Mike is very relaxed, even though I know he's working really hard and is probably right on his own edge of flexibility. And so find that edge for you, where you're stretching, where you're receiving benefit, but you're not causing any sort of force. You're not fighting your body. You're not holding your breath and pulling and tugging. Find that spot and then settle into your breath. Settle into the stretch, the sensations that you're feeling, and allow yourself to open up. And if you want to go a little further here, take your left hand, reach across your foot and grab, thumb pointing down, that pinky toe side of your foot. You might not be able to reach your foot, you might just grab the shin on that side, but that pull is going to give you a further stretch all along your left side body, maybe even all the way down into your left hip, your left lower back. So if you can make that connection, that's going to help pull you in a little bit deeper. Work your way out of this right side. No rush. Be gentle with yourself as you move through a transition. Keep your awareness on your breath. And then sit up tall in the middle, twist over to the left, and we'll work our way down the left leg. No rush. Take your time to get there. And like I said, when we moved from right to left on our runner's lunge, I'm going to repeat again here. As you move from right to left in your body, don't expect the exact same version of the posture. It may happen. That would be awesome. That's going to show your body is pretty symmetrical, your legs are pretty balanced, but it's pretty common to have two different versions of the posture on right side and left side. One side's a little less tight, one side's got an old injury you're fighting against. So just use your breath and listen to your body to find your version, your depth today. Like I said on the other side, if you want to take it a little further, you can use your right hand on this side to reach across your foot and grab the pinky toe edge of your foot. Nice, Mike. And that's going to pull the stretch all along the right side body from his fingers all the way down to the hip. So you should feel a huge opening in the right shoulder, the right lung, rib cage, into the lower back, and the whole side body, even into the hip here. This one can feel pretty good if you're tight through the center of your body, and through your low back and your side body. Very slowly begin to change. Work your way out of this posture. Once you're back to a seat, we'll lie down on our bellies. We're going to move out of our hips and our low back and start stretching our shoulders a little bit. We'll start with a starfish posture or prone twist. So lying on your belly like Mike is, bring your hand out to the right, palm face down, shoulder, elbow, wrist, one straight line. Left hand comes underneath your left shoulder, and then press your body weight into your left hand. Roll your hips open and bring your left leg up and over the right. Perfect. You can do just like Mike does. Bring your left foot to the ground. Some people like to bend the knee and plant the entire sole of the foot. That's a big hip opener at the same time. So if that takes the stretch away from your shoulders and moves it into your hips a bunch, that's okay if you want a further hip stretch. But this stretch, we're trying to focus on the shoulders. So it's just going to depend on your body. I know for me, I can't do this very easily, so I tend to keep my leg down, but it's always going to be different for everybody. So find your version of the shape. And note that you can use your left hand here for leverage. You can press into your left hand and almost roll your left shoulder further on top of your right. That's going to help increase the stretch. Or if you need a little less, you can bring your left shoulder down and sort of decrease the amount of pressure that you're leveraging against your left hand. Just easing your way in and out of your right shoulder. You should be feeling this in the front of your right shoulder. We're opening right at the front of our right shoulders here. And just take one more full breath in, big expanded lungs. And then one full breath out, following the breath as it leaves your body. And change. Come back to center. We'll switch sides. No rush. You know what we're doing. We're just going to do the same thing on the left. One straight line, palm face down, elbow, shoulder, wrist. It's all in a line. Right hand under right shoulder and press your body weight up and over. Bringing your right leg across your body, stacking it on top of the left, allowing your hips to twist open and feeling this stretch in the front side of your left shoulder. Like on the other side, you can use your right hand to increase or decrease the amount of pressure in the twist. And then return to your breath. See if you can feel the different versions of this posture in your breath. Noticing how your body shifts around while you're breathing, these subtle movements. Especially when our bodies are twisted, it can be a little bit more challenging to breathe. Our lungs are pulled, our bellies are squished and twisted. So feeling the difference between the inhales and the exhales and allowing the breath to support your posture, helping you find comfort, finding ease, finding your appropriate depth. Just stay curious about your breath. Carefully, slowly change. So roll your body right back to center. And then we'll switch back over to the right side. Almost the same stretch, but we're going to add a bent elbow. This is going to be a slight variation with a bent arm. So on the right side, make sure you've got a nice clean setup. Shoulder, elbow are aligned, elbow and wrist are aligned, palm is face down. So clean 90-degree angle. Perfect setup, Mike. And then left hand is under left shoulder. Same thing. Press your body weight up and over your right shoulder, lifting the left leg. This might be way different than the straight arm variation for you. It is for most people. So if you can't go quite as far, totally fine, no problem at all. Go to where you can go, adjust as you need to adjust. So adding pressure by pressing into your left hand or decreasing pressure by allowing your left shoulder to return towards the floor a little bit. And then staying with your breath. In this stretch, you'll probably feel it a little bit more into your chest rather than just the front of your shoulder. So noticing what you can do with the breath there. See if the breath can help you go a little further into the stretch, into the depth of the shape. Change. Carefully, slowly roll your body back to center, and then switch out the arms. This time, the left arm is making a 90-degree angle, so shoulder and elbow in a straight line, elbow and wrist, palm face down, right hand under your right shoulder, and then press your body weight up and over the right side. Again, stacking the hips as you rotate the body open, allowing the right leg to relax on top of the left or the right foot on the floor. Engaging the pressure with your right hand, maybe adding a little bit, taking a little bit out, and really feeling the front left side of your chest, the front left of your shoulder. Allowing yourself to receive all the benefits by being present with your breath, but being present with your posture. And taking full advantage of this moment. Change nice and slowly. Make your way back to center. Once you're there, press your hips back into a child's pose. You can take your time working your way there. A child's pose, the knees spread wide about the distance of your mat, maybe even wider. Tips of the big toes come to touch, forehead resting on the mat. You can close your eyes here. In most of our classes, the eyes would be open, but this is our restorative flow, so keep it easy, keep it simple, focusing on the breath. Reach your fingers forward, maybe spread your fingers a little bit. Allow your belly to be soft. In this posture with our heart kind of closed off, our chin tucked, our head is down to the mat, can be incredibly restorative. You're sort of closing yourself off to the outer world and reminding yourself of your inner world and helping yourself restore that peace inside yourself. All right, from here, we're going to take a puppy dog pose. So the hips are going to stack over the knees, slide your hands forward just a touch, but otherwise it's really similar to a child's pose. The main difference is now that the hips are stacked right over the knees. So Mike, bring your hips back about a ½ inch. Yep, there you go, perfect. Hands are still shoulder distance apart here. Forehead can be rested on the mat, or you can bring your chin forward, resting your chin on the mat, or somewhere right in between. I tend to fall right in between. Pulling my chin all the way forward is a little too much on my thoracic spine, my upper back. But if you are working on that mobility there, or if you've got it already, bringing the chin forward can feel pretty good. Return to the breath. Feel the opening in the shoulders, the triceps, upper back. This is a really, really big upper body opener. Breathe into it. Stay with it. And then a variation here, if you want a little bit more or want to shift the stretch a little bit, you can lift your hands up, so spiraling your pinkies towards one another as you bend the elbows. You can reach your hands back and rest them on your upper back, or bring the hands together to prayer and rest them on your upper back. There's absolutely no need to take this variation. If you're feeling a big stretch in a standard puppy dog, stay there and find all the benefits there. If you want to go a little further and you want to move the stretch into the triceps a little bit more, again, you can bend the elbows, bring the hands onto the upper back, or bring the hands in prayer onto the upper back. And you'll feel that leverage as you push into your elbows to keep your hips in position. That's where the stretch is really happening, through the triceps, the pressure against the elbows on the floor. And continue to breathe. Feeling the inhales, feeling the exhales, not allowing your mind to run your practice, but allowing your breath and your body to run your practice. All right, if you went for the bent arm variation, bring your hands back down to the floor, and then carefully, slowly make your way onto your back. No rush to get there. Finding the best way for you. It may mean just bringing the hips down to the floor. You may want to just flip over. Once you're lying on your back, we're going to take a supine spinal twist, starting with the right side. So bend your right knee up, You can give it a little squeeze to your right shoulder if that feels good. And then using your left hand, pull your right knee across your body so it's coming over to the left side of your body. Stack your hips right in the middle, one on top of the other. And then reach your right hand out to the right, palm face up, and your eyes look over at your right hand. It's going to help your neck get into the stretch. Thoracic spine is going to get pulled with the gaze change to the hand. And now that you've got the posture set up, finding your breath, settling into the shape, settling into your breath. So inhales, find length, find more reach, and exhales, find more depth, find more twist. And as we make our way towards the end of our class here, while you're lying in these postures, if you're having any thoughts at all, let them be grateful. Let them be positive. Let them be happy. Thank yourself for tuning in and staying with this class. Thank yourself for taking care of your body. Thank yourself for not making the excuse of I'm too busy, because we all have plenty of time to take care of ourselves, to stretch every day, to give our bodies what it needs. All right, carefully return to center with the right leg. You can give the right knee another squeeze towards your right shoulder if that feels nice on the back. And then release your right leg down. Let your body, your hips return to center. And then bring your left leg up. Give the left knee a little squeeze to left shoulder. And then using your right hand, pull the knee across the body to the right side. Stack the hips again in the middle. Reach with your left hand out to the left side of your space. And you'll see how Mike does it. It's perfect. The left hand reaches slightly higher than straight. So the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist are not in a straight line coming out of the shoulder, but they're a little bit higher, about 30 degrees to 40 degrees upward is exactly where you're going to want to get it. You're going to get this line of tension, pulling your left hand, reaching up with your left hand, simultaneously a little pressure on top of your right knee with your right hand. This diagonal line of tension being pulled through your body, wringing us out right at the end of class. It should feel really, really good. So take big breaths into your twisted shape here. Big, full breaths, feeling that internal stretch, and long, slow, extended exhales, like we did at the beginning of class. Calming your body, calming your mind, and finding your final twist. Change. Bring your left leg back to center. You can give it another squeeze towards your shoulder if that feels right. And then release your left leg down. Arms by your side, palms face up. Close your eyes and get comfy. Your class is over. You made it. But this posture right here, lying on your back, this is the magic. So don't get up. Stay here and breathe. This is where all of that work starts to settle in. Allow your body, your circulation to sort of return to normal. Use your breath to stay intimately aware with this moment. And allow everything to soften and release. Thank you guys for joining us for Restorative Flow. Hope to have you guys again next time. Namaste.